think we go back.
Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. In today's matchup, we have a defense that loves to quickly get off the field. The Texans are top 10 in defensive yards allowed, and they go up against the Vikings, who will need to find a way to move the football. With that, it's time to hook up with our commentators in the booth as we turn it over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, thanks, Larry. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the heart of Texas and NRG Stadium in Houston. Today, we've got an interesting Week 11 matchup on tap between the Minnesota Vikings and the Houston Texans. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
There's so many things that go into playing the position of linebacker. Some of them are actually subtle. Doing the drill work that you do all the time in practice and carrying it over to the game. Get rid of blockers and get to the ball carrier and knock him down for a loss.
Here's Bridgewater. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
And to give this time to the tailback, working his way for a gain of 7 to the 26.
Now, that's a run that warms a play caller's heart because you're actually set up to do whatever you want on offense. You come right back and run essentially the same play because you have momentum, or you can fake that running play and throw something deep over the top, or you now feel like you have an extra down to play with because if you go ahead and just throw it and you don't get it, come back and try and pick it up on third down.
And he's got his man on the out route. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
That was a nice completion on an out route, and those types of plays are the result of arm strength by the quarterback and timing by the receiver.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he cuts it, and he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. A great play there with his 16th touchdown of the year. And the Texans have taken the early lead. And the Texans take a 7-0 lead. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. Nowhere to go that time. Might have gotten a yard up to the 25. Time to feature the offensive starters and to give some love to the tight end, Kyle Rudolph.
He's been to the Pro Bowl already, battled a few injuries, but he's back and better than ever. Has added a little yoga to his regimen in order to make him more nimble. That makes it that much harder for the defenders to catch him.
They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. They'll run it now out of the the gun. And he powers his way up past the 30. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
That was a good run, and it got to the second level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle. And oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
And the defense searches for one more stop here after the run on 2nd down. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. 3rd and short yardage. Bridgewater. It's Floyd on the right. Give him 2 yards on that play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. All week in practice, they stressed grounding, pounding the football, and they really executed it well there to get the first down.
That usually means getting back to being physical in practice, because when you emphasize pounding the football, it doesn't really come together unless you practice it the same way you're going to play it in the game. That means more bodies, more pads, and a whole lot of popping last week, and they got it done in the game.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he's got it up over the 40 to the 41. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
That was a good run, probably right on the edge of breaking into something really big. So the defensive guys right now are talking about, okay, what can we do to slow him down before he truly gets started?
They'll run it now out of the gun. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44. The defensive crew for the Texans. Here's a look.
Anthony Barr almost defies description at times. He's built like a defensive end, but he plays outside linebacker and does it quite well.
Let's go.
No run for it here. This is Cross, the fullback. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42.
Anthony Barr got a real education at UCLA and playing not just his normal position of stand-up outside linebacker, but down defensive end. So he had to incorporate a variety of moves, take on bigger people. So he learned great leverage while he was there. That really helps him when he's trying to stop people running the ball.
Born in South Bend, Indiana. Thought about going back to go to Notre Dame, but you're right. Great career at UCLA and now a great career in the NFL. And now out comes Houston. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
If you love pressure, we'll see if they dial it up this drive. He's got time in the pocket. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield. Complete. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
And that was a heck of a shot right there by Jameis Winston. Boy, he has a superior right arm, doesn't he? You saw him play baseball.
Yeah, he's actually a switch hitter in baseball. Outfielder, and then, of course, a very hard-throwing pitcher. That's translated well in the National Football League.
That it has. When he has to make that throw on a line, he's got plenty of arm to do it.
And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. And the offense there, the O-line, everybody really on offense, they were just manhandled at the point of attack.
Yeah, you could pretty much call them all out, couldn't you? Almost by name, right? That was a very tough sequence for the offensive line. But how about that defensive front creating a new line of scrimmage and creating a lost yardage possibility?
Finding time. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. And a look at the Vikings defensive unit.
Linval Joseph is in a hurry to get his name mentioned as one of the top defensive tackles in the game. I think he's accomplishing his goal.
Third and long for Winston. Trying to lay one up deep. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up fourth down. This is fielded at the 7. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And it'll be Viking football here as they take possession. And now out comes Minnesota. And last time out they had to punt the football away. Anything positive possibly to take from that?
There always is when you're punting the football away. It doesn't sound like it because you're giving it up. But you've avoided a mistake.
At least you didn't turn it over,
You didn't turn it over, right? You're giving your defense a chance because you're punting the ball away, and they're set to go on the field as opposed to sudden change after a turnover, and wow, now we've got to go out there and stop people. So, yeah, there's always something positive to be gained from it.
They'll need to get the play off quickly. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Brandon, that play ended so fast, it's almost as if the quarterback handed it to the runner, and the tackler was there right away for a loss of yardage.
Now the defense definitely showing blitz here. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter. Second down and a little ways to go here. 2nd and 13. Bridgewater now on second down. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, they have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays. And you don't get many opportunities to dial them up. And they just did. And they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt.
Offense working with a 3rd and 13 still left. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. 3rd and long for Bridgewater. He's going to go up top again. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
Only 29 yards on the punt there. Definitely not his best. And the Texans with great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. Here to his running back. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Well, they held him to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they were trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 6 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 3rd and 1.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. On 3rd and 1, here's Winston. Blitz coming, and down he goes. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7. The Texans send the punter out. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
It'd be hard to say that a defense wouldn't be ready for a first down run. When you can gain that kind of yardage against a defense that's really kind of geared to stop that play, your confidence has to rise, and now you've actually opened up your playbook. You want to throw the ball now for play action, you're good to go.
Throwing is Bridgewater, and the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Time running out here on the play clock. Bridgewater, and he's got Moncrief. 8 yards there on a first down.
And fits the exact right word. Over the middle, there's almost always traffic, so anytime you're a receiver in that area, you're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even added a little extra at the end with a short run.
Let's go.
And to give this time to the tailback. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
It's been a struggle this entire game trying to move the ball on the ground. But every now and then you find a little chink in the armor, and that type of run right there lets them know that they can't stop every single run for almost no gain.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that second down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
So the run moves the chains, and here we go on first down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Give him 3 on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
2 minutes to go here in the first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout. Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. Play clock winding down. They just do get the play off. Now Bridgewater looking deep downfield. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down.
I'm not quite sure how he wasn't able to hold on to that one in the end zone. A great opportunity lost, but a lot of relief for the defensive guys. When they get into film next week, they're going to want to know what happened. Where was the breakdown that almost allowed a touchdown?
And he fields it cleanly. 12 yards on the return that time, and the Texans take possession. And now out comes Houston. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Winston finding his safety valve here. That's complete. It's a gain of 9 yards. And it'll be second and about a yard to go for the first. So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Fresh set of downs here. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. On 1st and 10, Winston. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Boy, he came in off the edge so quickly there.
Look out, because that's exactly what it was being shouted by the offensive lineman to his quarterback, because he had no chance to block him.
Jameis to throw it. Going right side here, and that's complete. They get 16 out of that one, but they'll still need to convert on 3rd. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. Just they move, and they know it affects the defense, because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And they'll be looking to avoid what happened last time with just punting the football.
But when you look at how teams play the game, that complementary football comes into play. How do I take care of my defense? How do I take...
Now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll take this up to about the 7 or 8 yard line. And now the Texans want to call another timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And the offense in that middle ground here on 3rd down, 5 yards to go. They come out here in the eye. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll get it up to the 12-yard line here. And a timeout here. Timeout taken, whistles blown. Timeout taken by the receiving team. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. .46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. And taken right on the 30. It's a nifty return of 29 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over for the 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. It's a 5-receiver set. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Throwing, Winston. And this is Shepard on the catch. And he's going to get this inside the 30. It'll go as a gain of 12. And it's good enough for a Houston first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
And this will split the upright. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. And now out comes Minnesota. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
White 90. White 90.
And they're going to go soft on the corners. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So as they take it over, we step aside. They'll run it now out of the gun. And an alley to run. And he's going to be taken down here. Okay, well, so much for the halftime report here. Guy can't even finish his Snickers. We're going to get right to the third quarter. Let me spit this out. That'll be taken in the end zone. And with a new rule, that decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he only gets to the 20. And now out comes Houston. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. In on the stop, it's Tahir Whitehead.
And that's why you see a lot of teams that like to play 4-3 defense, especially against teams that run the ball really well, because you count on your defensive front, the tackles and the ends, to eat up the blocking in the offensive line and keep that guy in the middle clean so he can roam through the football and make a tackle. In this case, he introduced himself and said, hello, my name is Mike.
And he'll get about 3 as he takes this up near the 25. And third quarter here, you've got the lead. This is where that strong run game can really benefit you. Stayed in bounds there, kept the clock going.
I like all the points you just made there. And if you throw the football and it's incomplete, now you've stopped the clock and you've helped out the guys on the other side of the ball. So keep it in the hands of those runners, keep moving it, keep grinding clock.
And the pressure gets there, and Winston goes down. Looks like a 9-yard loss, and it also brings up 4th. This is fielded at the 27. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. A look at the offense now here, coming back out on the road for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
no, tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker board?
Yeah, those two.
Let's go.
A second down throw for Bridgewater. And he's got the hook up here. It's Kyle Rudolph. And he's brought down. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically. But a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
A first down throw for Bridgewater. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It's a gain of 7, and that'll bring up second down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
They come out here in the eye. Here's Prochnow, the fullback. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, but not enough to move the sticks. It'll be third and about a foot or 2.
And that was a good collision right there. And I know this as a former defender. If you're playing linebacker, you're going through a checklist on every play on who you think's going to get the ball and where you think the ball's going to go. Rarely do you expect the fullback position to get it. And on that play you did. So you've got to steel yourself at that point because the contact is going to be strong.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
And that's another side for the defense. Something we've seen all game long. They have been on fire today. No matter what's called by the offense, they've had an answer for it.
And here comes play number 6 on this drive. The play clock's running down. And they'll go on the ground. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. So he loses 3 yards there. Now third down.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line's just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence because you can't abandon the play calling right now.
It'll be a pickup of 13 on the play. I guess they figure they got to start taking some chances. Here's a big one in this third quarter as they'll go for it on fourth down. Going for it, and this is the fullback crunch. He needed 2. He barely got back to the line of scrimmage. And this Texans defense stands tall. And now out comes Houston. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked so well, and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
The tackle made there by Linval Joseph. And when you're running the football, one thing you don't want to see is a big boy coming up there to swallow you whole in those D tackles and nose tackles.
No, you're actually counting on your big boys to protect you from them. But on that play, the defensive tackle had the leverage, and he won the battle. No gain, correct?
No gain. And he will find his big tight end over the middle. That one goes for 24 yards. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out. They ended up with an interception in that game at Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
And on 2nd and 10 now. They'll run it now out of the gun. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9. So second down was a run play. Now let's see what they do on third. On third down, Winston. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. They were trying to get it there to Sterling Shepard, and it's 4th down. The Texans send the punter out as he's on here to punt it away. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And it's taken in at the 9. Shrugs the tackle.
Nice.
A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And the Austin 10. And now out comes Minnesota. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it changes a little bit if they're in the same spot again.
Yeah, we'll see what the decision is here if they get to that spot. And his throw here is incomplete. Back now here on EA Sports. It's a 4-receiver look to the right side. On third down, Bridgewater. Incomplete, right side, the tight end Rudolph. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there limiting that and keeping him from the first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. And some space here. 17 yards on the pickup, and they're able to pick up the conversion here on 4th down.
Oh, man, 4th down and 1, and you're on your own side of midfield. That takes a little bit of courage to pull off, but they went ahead and snapped it, and it'll work out for them as they get the first down.
And he'll give it here to his running back. He'll fight forward for a couple down inside the 40.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it's going to make it 3rd down at 6. If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on 3rd down. They'll come out in the pistol. Bridgewater from the gun on 3rd down. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. And he's going to be out of bounds down inside the 20. A good pickup there of 22. And a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
And now a first down following that long gain. And some extras coming up on the line here, readying for the blitz. They come out here in the eye. And now here's a carry heading left. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are able to make this a close game again. And they're back within a field goal. It's 10-7 now. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. It's a short kick, taking it to 15. And he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Jameis nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Daniil Hunter in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10. Big sack on 2nd down. Now the offense needs to convert here on 3rd. Third and long for Winston. Throws right side, and that's complete. They get 20 yards there on 3rd and 19, and an unlikely first down.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
Oh, so frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here, down late, tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
And in this situation with a lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
Wide open receiver complete. That one goes for 36 yards.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
First and goal here from the 9. And they'll run it here. And he's going to bull his way down to about the 1-yard line. A good run, 8 yards there, and it'll be second and goal. Well, they'll take that every time with a lead, first down, fourth quarter, getting 8 yards. You love that.
They will take it, and you have to ask the defensive guys, why did you give it? I mean, you know the situation. You're down.
And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. A great play there. His second touchdown of the game, 17th on the year. And the Texans will extend their lead. Out is the Texans kick team as they'll send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And they're hoping to capture some of that magic they had last time out when they were able to put together a scoring drive. But they're still down here, Charles.
Not the major concern, though, because of what you talked about. They scored the last time out. They feel good about themselves. They feel like their game plan is now in effect. They know how to attack and what plays they want to put together. But they've got to keep it moving in the right direction because, as you did note, they are down on the scoreboard. Seeing that play and understand just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice game right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them. It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. And that one incomplete. Had some position, but couldn't hold on, and it brings up fourth down.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on fourth down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. It's a gain of 5. And on fourth down, they're able to convert and move the sticks. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. Now a play fake here on first down. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And he'll be out of bounds up near midfield at the 49. 13 yards there on the pickup. And it'll give the Vikings a first down. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Here's Bridgewater. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this is intercepted. And that should do it. A great read, and it's picked off. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. And now out comes Houston. They're in a good spot. 2-possession game barely, but a 2-possession game here late. Now they just have to put this game on ice.
Let's face it, right now, they're talking about ball security, taking care of it, not allowing anything crazy to happen, because we've seen nutty things happen down the stretch, but they also have the security of the scoreboard. With that type of a lead, even if something goes haywire, they're still in good shape.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
The insistence of speed at every position is really seen at the defensive end spot. These guys in the old days were often outside linebackers. They just pushed them forward because they wanted to play fast and get to the quarterback or the running backs quicker than ever before.
Winston here to throw. He's going to let this one go deep. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They might be thinking this is close to a lost cause here. Got to play it out. What do they need to do?
Well, they have a thought process in mind already, but they can't get ahead of themselves. They know that they need to score quickly.
Yep, two-score game.
Onside kick and get the ball back, and then score again. But they can't worry about the last 2 points. The only thing that matters is scoring quickly. Then they'll take it from there.
That's caught inside the 20. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Now Bridgewater. This will be caught at the 2. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Kyle Rudolph, his second touchdown on the season. And the interception by the Vikings D leads to a touchdown. And he knocks it through. So with just over a minute to play, this becomes a make-or-break onside kick. And the effort snuffed out. The Texans' hands team recovers. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Defense showing blitz. They'll run it now out of the gun. Muscles him off. And he's going to get this inside the 30. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers. They're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
Come on, let's go!
That's strong running. Down to the 25. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. Charles,